Hello, I am so sorry. It's been ages, hasn't it? I know. The beginning of this year, I had full intentions to sit down every week and go through the films and television I had been watching with you. And it just didn't work out like that. I had three survival jobs. Yes, let's call them that. I've managed to cut it down to two, and I'm doing some freelance writing and website designing and all sorts of different things while I'm waiting for Widow's Walk, which is finished. We had the most amazing screening for our Kickstarter backers and our investors. It was a private screening at the Princess Anne Theatre in London at BAFTA, and the response was overwhelming. I mean, I've collected all of the feedback and the emails that people sent, which was so supportive and so kind. It was the first time for us that we'd really seen it with a full cinema on a big screen, and it was delightful to watch everybody respond to the scary moments and the emotional stuff. People felt very moved, and that's always, it's so rewarding because we've literally been working on this film for 6 years. Well, I have, since I first got the inclination that I should make a very low budget one location, five character genre film. And it was brilliant. So that took up some time, and just, looking for the next steps. We still need to raise a bit more money, so we're looking at that to deliver it, to pay the accountants and the lawyers and the music licenses, that sort of thing. We're just plugging away, but that meant that I had more time to regroup and just get some paying jobs and some income, so that I can survive a bit during this sort of this interim bit before we know what the next thing I'm going to direct. Anyway, but I have been watching a lot of television, and I thought I'd use this post as a sort of amalgamation of all this amazing TV that's been happening. First one is Chernobyl, which recently finished, and I was gripped by this sci-fi, a true sci-fi horror story. That's what I've called it, because and certainly you know by the end because of the way they sum it up, but you know that everything you're watching is true. It actually happened. And everything from the amazing performances by Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård and Emily Watson, the the production design, everything's grey and industrial and Russia, you know, 30 years ago. It's just so dark, and then layered in with that, this is most amazing soundtrack. The music had this sort of humming drone to it, which made you feel incredibly tense. I mean, I, we know what happened. We know they lied. We know they tried to cover it up. And we know that possibly tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people have died as a direct result of the explosion at Chernobyl. And they tried to cover the whole thing up. And the threats by the KGB, anybody who even dared to whistleblow, was shut down and threatened. And it was just such good drama, because you know me and my true stories. You see, you know that a lot of the script was taken from testimonies of people who lived through it, or who were part of the cleanup operation, and have miraculously somehow survived. But many people died early, and many people are living with radiation related disease, which is cancer, of course. Oh my God, it was just fantastic. It was fantastic. And the last episode, where they sum everything up and draw together all of the scenes that you've seen dramatized, and they show you photographs of the real place, of the real people, of the fireman's clothing that was dumped in this room in the hospital, that is still dangerously radioactive. Haven't even been moved since they were taken off those boys who died horribly, horribly. Anyway, gripping, brilliant, brilliant television, and apparently the most watched on IMDb, the most watched miniseries ever of all time. Another television series that is up there with Chernobyl is Years and Years. Have you been watching that? It's only set like a few years into the future, but Russell T Davies has somehow managed to imagine what would happen, what will happen, let's put it that way, if present, current, and political events all continue and follow through. And it's another horror story. It's much more contained. It's set in England. It's about a family, this lovely, diverse, disparate family, and all of the problems and challenges that families have. That's all there. And going on and around them is this political situation. And Emma Thompson, who's basically this Nigel Farage character, whose opening scene, she says, I don't care about Syria. I don't give a fuck about them. What I care about is, are my bins being collected, and do I have a job, and can I put food in my kids' stomachs? And of course, you know who she's talking about, who she's emulating, and she's they've dramatized a situation where they've shown that these politicians don't care about the rest of the world. They care about what's going on here. They can do nothing about it, and so they take this extreme stance, whether it be left or right. And it's why we're at loggerheads. It's why nothing's being done. It's why the snake is eating its tail in the Conservative Party, and there's no real tangible Labour leader to take over and be the voice of reason, if that's even your politics. It's another dystopian future sci-fi horror story. I'm really enjoying it. And then I'm revisiting The Crown. I watched it. I watched both seasons first time through and loved it because I love history, and I'm really fascinated by the royal family. I wouldn't call myself a royalist. I'd call myself somebody who is proud to have this royal family, and their status and what they bring to this country, and what people imagine from other countries when they think of our royal family and what they represent. But what The Crown does is brilliantly delve into, again, family situation, because they're all related to one another, family history, family politics, and then the real politics and history of the time. And what's utterly clear, whether this is true or not, all I have to believe is that the screenwriters, Stephen Daldry, all that I can imagine is that they have read everyone's biographies, every single biography of every single one of them, and brilliantly collated and cross pollinated all of the characters to have the dramatic outcome. So they'll take a point in history or in the family's history, and they will build up all the characters, show a little bit of background of the peripheral sub characters and subplots, and make a brilliant single episode, single film out of each moment. And it's just brilliant. And through it all, the character of Elizabeth I, played by Claire Foy, and I do believe it's got to be very close to her character. You see her be this really young, inexperienced, naive, uneducated. She didn't feel like she had been educated in the ways of the world or in proper history and politics. You see her go from nothing to, I don't know, we're about in the 50s, aren't we? 60s, early 60s, when the second series ends. And she is starting to say no to these men in her family, to the politicians, to the prime ministers. She's starting to really come into her own and using what she's learned, and not digging her heels in, but just being decisive and saying, right, I am making this decision. Oh, no, no, don't do that. No, I'm making it and I'm doing it. And I'm telling you, I'm learning some life lessons in my work, where sometimes I feel railroaded. I feel bullied into, making a decision about something about my film or this or that, when actually my instinct is to say, well, actually, no, I'd like to do the other thing that you're not sure I should do, and let's stand by that, and let's see what happens. Well, this is what Queenie's doing. Anyway, it's just brilliant. And the amount that's told with no dialogue, with just looks between characters, because the setup is so strong. Costumes, production values, obviously, because it's like $10 million an episode. They spent $100 million on each series. But it's worth it, and it's a historical document made really enjoyable by brilliant script writing, brilliant characters and actors, and brilliant direction. This is the stuff. This is my movie school. This is my director's school, because I just could watch the process and the minutia and the way stories are put together over and over again, and then sit and discuss them, and find out and discuss why that works, and why you just can't wait for the next episode, even though historically what happened, and I know because I've watched it already. Oh, I love it when I can go back and watch something again and really enjoy it. Anyway, so that's my reintroduction to you. I am sorry again, it's been so long. I will not let that happen again. I saw Gloria Bell last night with Julianne Moore, and there was a Q&A with the director. So my next vlog will be about that, which is also pretty good. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye bye.